Line graphs to discover. Okay, we can see another line graph here with that continuous data. The time of day on the horizontal axis at the bottom, the x-axis, and the distance in kilometers, so the distance that has been cycled on the vertical axis. Okay, and the question says, question 1, how far did Sophia cycle between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m.? Question 1b, how long did it take Sophia to travel the next 40 kilometers after 12 p.m.? Let's share our answers now. So, question 1a says, how far did Sophia cycle between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m.? So at 11 a.m., she'd cycled 40 kilometers. And we can see that there on the line graph. At 12 p.m., 1 hour later, she'd cycled 65 kilometers. Okay, so how far did she cycle? Well, we could count on. We could say she cycled 10, 20, 25 kilometers from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. The other way of doing it is saying she cycled 65 kilometers at 12. And if we take away the 40 kilometers she cycled before 11, we're going to be left with this amount here, which is 25 kilometers. So two ways of finding that answer, counting on and finding the difference. Question 1b says, how long did it take Sophia to travel the next 40 kilometers after 12 p.m.? So let's have a look how far she'd cycled at 12 p.m. And as we just said, she'd cycled 65 kilometers. So we need to count on now 40 kilometers. So that's 65, 75, 85, 95, 105. Okay, so that's 40 kilometers. And here you can see the calculation. 65 plus 40 is 105 kilometers. So at 105 kilometers, what time is that? And if we go down, you can see there, it's in between 1 p.m. and 1:30. And in between 1 p.m. and 1:30 is 1:15 or 1:15. So Sophia had traveled 105 kilometers by 1:15 p.m. So it took Sophia 1 hour and 15 minutes to travel the next 40 kilometers. Think together. Okay, so Toshi takes part in a cycle race. The graph shows Toshi's journey. And here it is. As before, we've got the time of day on the horizontal axis and the distance in kilometers on the vertical axis. Question 1a says, how far did Toshi travel between 12:30 and 1:30 p.m.? Okay, well, let's have a look at that answer. So if we count along, we get to 11:30, 12, 12:30 p.m. And so 12:30 p.m. starts there and goes up to 1:30 p.m. So that is the range we're looking for. Okay, and we can put that in now. Right, so if we go up 12:30 p.m., at that point, Toshi had cycled 85 kilometers, okay, in between 80 and 90. At 1:30 p.m., he'd cycled 110 kilometers. Okay, so 85 kilometers by 12:30 p.m. and 110 kilometers by 1:30 p.m. So again, we need to find the difference, okay, so to find out how much further he'd cycled. So 110 kilometers, take away 85 kilometers equals 25 kilometers. So we found the difference by taking away 85 kilometers from 110. We could also have counted on. Okay, so that's 5 kilometers plus 10 is 15 kilometers plus 10 is 25 kilometers. So Toshi traveled 25 kilometers between 12:30 p.m. and 1:30 p.m. Let's have a look at the next question. Okay, B. How far did Toshi travel between 11:15 a.m. and 12:45 p.m.? So how far did Toshi travel between 11:15 and 12:45? So we'll look at the time of day, 11 a.m., 11:15 a.m., and count that on to 12:45 p.m. So we can see at 11:15 a.m. he'd cycled 40 kilometers, and at 12:45 p.m. he'd cycled 90 kilometers. Okay, so how far did he cycle in this time? Well, we can count up in tens. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 kilometers. And there we go, 50 kilometers between 11:15 a.m. and 12:45 p.m. Question 1C. What time do you think the race started? Well, let's have a look here at the distance traveled. Now, there was no distance traveled here or here. Then suddenly we can see the cycles are moving. So it's at this point that they start their movement. So the race started at 9:30 a.m. And our last question here, question 1D. Do you think it is the same race that Sophia took part in? Let's quickly go back to Sophia's race. And here we can see Sophia's race started at 9:30 a.m. and she traveled 110 kilometers and finished at 1:30 p.m. So now if we come back to Toshi's race, we can see that Toshi started his race at 9:30, at the same time. He traveled 110 kilometers, and he also finished at 1:30 p.m. So yes, I do think it's the same race that Sophia took part in. So question 2, we're still looking at Toshi's cycle race here. And it said, how long did it take Toshi to travel from 20 kilometers to 70 kilometers? So let's have a look here at the distance. Okay, and the first thing we need to look at is the 20 kilometers. What did it take Toshi to cycle 20 kilometers? And we can see there that it is 10:30 a.m. So when did he get to 70 kilometers? Well, there's 70 kilometers. And if we look down at the time, he arrived at 12 p.m. at 70 kilometers. So how long did it take? Well, if we've got 10:30 a.m., if we go to the next hour, we need to add on 30 minutes, and that will take us to 11. And then to get from 11 to 12, we have to add another hour. Okay, so it would have taken Toshi 1.5 hours to travel between 20 kilometers and 70 kilometers. And if you finished all your work, here's today's challenge. And as usual, answers will be at the end of the video.